that's the dilemma of this title. This is the Consolation World title.
Russo'sBrand.com, where the pros are the pros. When Raw started last night, Stevie, with Jey Uso and the whole 9 yards, when they had that open, I swear I was sitting there and I was like, wait a minute, what is this last week's show? I literally had to stop and make sure that I was watching the latest show, because, man, you know how they are, bro. When something freaking hits, they will beat it to death. And now, Stevie, every freaking show is going to open up with a 15-minute yeet fest. And it's just unbelievable to me, where like I said, as a shoot, I thought I was watching last week's show.
Yeah, that's a great point. And what that does, it doesn't hurt anybody but Jey Uso by overexposing him and making him stale. And then the excuse of he's not over anymore. No, it's your job to keep the guy over. We talked about it last week. The one voice, the one writer, you're attached to the hip and you write some unique stuff for this guy. Instead, how many years in a row has it now been? Who will he choose? Who will she choose? They can buy 2 to 3 weeks until Elimination Chamber to get that tired old trope done.
It seems like forever. I mean, and we're still doing sign pointing, even though the guy's allegedly not there. It just is so mailed in and talking. I had a great conversation on the Monday Locker Room on Hamin Media Group's side of Channel Attitude of the basics of structure and writing. And here we are back to the Triple H Stephanie 25-minute opener that's all self-aggrandizing, and it does nothing to further storyline, only till somebody comes out to interrupt, and then we finally get to it in the last 30 seconds of what we could have chopped 20 minutes from. And yeah, they're going to overexpose this yeet thing and beat it till it's dead right out of the gate. I don't know why my camera's getting beat out of the gate here, but this is something I wanted to pose to you, and especially something you were great at in your tenure, is the inciting incident of a show, the inciting incident of a movie, in establishing a heel so a babyface can either go off of that inciting incident and sends them on their journey, or the heel is established to get that heat so the babyface can rise up to overcome. And a lot of times you would do it with action sequences when somebody's rolling into the arena. They're doing the UFC walkthrough now, but nobody's getting jumped. Nobody's got heat. Nobody's rolling over anybody's car in a fucking monster truck. Nobody's driving a beer truck into the arena. It just, especially when we have Hogan beer we could be getting over. It just doesn't equate to any effort. It's just constant laziness. Like we take him on a roller coaster. Yeah. If you ride the same roller coaster 78 times in a row, it's not impressive. You got to go to other roller coasters in the park, which my analogy is to have other formats of how to spark a show, set a show off, button a show, edit at a high point, not have 5 matches that are all 20 minutes long, because now none of them are special. So I just want to lay all that out and ping pong it back to you. What are some ways creatively to spark the show off instead of we got to do yeet again next week?
Well, I would say, in the first place is, man, give me a beginning, a middle, and an end, because I don't understand why you do this. Gunther's your champion. Jey Uso, is your number one baby face right now. Why, Stevie, are they on the first 10 minutes of the show and then you never see them again? I'm just going to go back to Austin, Ben. If Austin is jumped in segment 1 and we never see Austin again, Steve is calling me out on it. He's going to say, wait a minute, Vince, I got jumped at, 7 o'clock and now I'm gone for the rest of the night. I'm not going to be hunting this guy down. I'm not going to be looking for revenge. He would literally call me on the carpet. First of all, I would never write it that way, because I knew Austin's character. You want to jump him from behind, bro, you're going to have a target on your back for this entire show. But at least, Ben, give me a beginning, a middle, an end to every freaking show, because an end of the show is not New Day jumping Rey Mysterio. Nobody gives a shit, bro. Nobody gives a shit about anything they're doing on either one of these shows, man.
Yeah, like Austin gets heat in the beginning or gets into it, gets arrested. We watch him go away, and in the last 3 minutes, in comes the cop car. He outfoxed the cops, and he stole the car to come back and get his reciprocity. But we don't have any of that, dude. There is no cyclical storytelling, the show within the show on the road to WrestleMania.
And, you know, Stevie, I was even talking about this. I was even talking because somebody said to me, oh, Vince, what are we going to get to WrestleMania every week of Jey and Gunther jumping each other? And I'm like, yeah, bro, that's exactly what you're going to get. Meanwhile, Stevie, we've seen them run this play a million times where the guy's trying to convince the other guy, man, you really shouldn't be with him. I mean, are you sure you could trust him? We go through that whole thing. I mean, what a better opportune time, Ben and Stevie, right now. Now that story should be played out with Gunther and Jimmy Uso. Gunther should be going to Jimmy, man, how's it feel to be the brother? How does your wife feel about that? Did she marry the wrong? Now's the time to do that, bro, because I can only imagine as a shoot, push to the top and, you know, all of this, there's got to be some type of a feeling. Of course, you're happy for your brother, but it's like, man, I'm the forgotten guy. It's the perfect opportunity for the heel to start playing on that. But no, Stevie, we're just going to see Gunther's going to jump Jey. Jey's going to accept the WrestleMania. People were actually telling me, oh, bro, maybe Jey's going to choose Cody. And I'm like, the WWE doesn't have the balls to do Cody and Jey. They don't have the balls to do that. They have the balls to do what is most predictable. Gunther and Jey. Jey's never beat Gunther before, so he's finally going to beat him at WrestleMania. We knew that the second the Royal Rumble freaking ended. And that's the biggest problem with this show, Stevie. You know who's going to go over. You know who's going to go into the Elimination Chamber. It is so freaking cookie cutter. It's absolutely pathetic.
Well, let's point out what great wives we have, first of all, that they aren't going to leave us for somebody for a bigger push. So they got their point. She wasn't meant to be if she's going to leave you for somebody that's won the Royal Rumble. So let's start with that. But yeah, I mean, that's the dilemma of this title. This is the Consolation World title. This is the confusing world title. That's the world title. Isn't the world bigger than WWE? No, it's the universe, pal. It's so muddy right now. And what you've done with multiple belts and multiple world titles on both sides, male and female, you've allowed yourself what you call creative liberty is creative laziness. Mm-hmm. If we can't pull the trigger on Jey Uso, we can half pull the trigger on Jey Uso. If I was a worker, it's a stupid choice. Of course you would go for the WWE title, right? Yeah. And you're from a Samoan legacy where most of your relatives have not captured that world title or the WWE title. Rocky and, of course, Roman Reigns. But wouldn't the family legacy want to go for if you're talking about the bloodline, if you're talking about all this stuff, Jey watched Roman for how many years with that very belt? Now it's his turn to go for the other one. It's a disconnect.